Do you care about elections? No, really. Do you care about them? I'm asking both sides this question, but I'm especially asking the left this question because they are the ones right now most strongly opposing any effort to protect them. They're the ones pretending like we're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. Yet, didn't Hillary Clinton say right after Trump won in 2016 she thought the election was stolen from her? She said it was a tainted election and that Trump was a illegitimate president. What else can that mean? One can only surmise that she and others in her camp felt that something was wrong. Democrats in Congress immediately launched into a 2 year investigation around alleged Russia collusion, which turned out to be a verifiable hoax, by the way. Of course, we all know now that even she, Hillary Clinton, knew it was a hoax because we now know she was in on it. For the past three elections, it's all we've heard about. Did so and so win or did something else happen? It leads me to feel that on both sides of the aisle, very few people trust the election process. Conversations abound in coffee shops and around dining room tables around the country. People throw up their hands and say, my vote doesn't matter anyway. People are questioning the process. People feel like something is wrong. And yet, when proposals are made to protect the process and protect our votes and ensure our votes matter, people are suddenly opposed to that. But when does it matter? For the individual, it largely depends on who wins or loses, right? If your guy wins, you're okay with the result. You only question it when your guy loses. I think there's a huge problem with that. What I keep going back to is that elections and the proper handling of them should matter to all of us. We should want to know that they are clean, above board, and fair, that our voices are heard and matter. In order for our democratic republic to work, we have to have absolute confidence that those in power are rightfully the people we gave that power to. We all agree there's a major swamp in Washington. If you're a Democrat, you think it's filled with Republicans. If you're a Republican, you think it's filled with Democrats. Honestly, the swamp contains multitudes of both. Washington is in an endless loop of power grabs and people who want to win to retain their positions of power. What will they do to keep that power? All the things we all say all the time they'll do. They'll lie to you, tell you what you want to hear, and do something else when they take home the prize. And maybe, just maybe, they will even cheat if that's what they have to do. And here's the thing, if they can cheat, if we turn a blind eye to the possibility they might cheat, what does it matter what they do? If they can cheat, they aren't elected by the people. They're chosen by the power structure who holds the greater edge on where the votes come from. Trust is an important thing. It matters because it also influences how we respond to things that happen. It influences how well we pay attention to what our elected leaders are doing. It influences our participation in the process. As I have said before, if people lose faith in the elections and think their votes don't matter, will they bother to show up at the polls? And if the people aren't voting, who else is? It then becomes not a matter of working to appeal to voters, it becomes a matter of working to create the voters either side needs to win. That leaves us out. And once that happens, we can't fix it. One can have all the thoughts they want about President Trump. Oppose him, fine. That's part of our freedoms in this country, right? But can't we at least acknowledge that his focus on election integrity, while of course many on the left will say comes from a delusional place, digs at the heart of a question we've all on both sides had for a long time? I mean, think about this for a second. Trump is sure he didn't actually lose to Joe Biden in 2020. Has he launched investigations? Is he dragging Democrats through congressional hearings? Does he have his Justice Department raiding DNC offices or those of congressmen and senators? No. He's identifying all the things he felt could be, and I stress could be, contributing factors in making our elections less than safe to ensure our votes count. Thus, the Save America Act and his recent executive order he signed. And what's in that executive order? Really just common sense stuff. It directs federal agencies to make a list of verified U.S. citizens. That seems reasonable, right? I mean, if you think about it, that might be something similar to the INE. So what's the INE, you ask? It's the National Electoral Institute in Mexico, through which eligible voters in Mexico must register, because in Mexico, you can't vote if you're not a registered citizen. The order also tightens mail-in ballot rules and prevents ballots from being delivered to people not on the rolls. Also, common sense. The answer is simple here. The only reason you would oppose any of these things is because someone wants to cheat. They don't want to close doors to bad players both in and out of Washington. Those on the left, like the governors of California, Oregon, and Arizona, who immediately filed lawsuits against the order, want to rush out and shout voter suppression. But what is that exactly? Almost every single thing we do in America on a daily basis requires us to prove who we are. We recently had to go through an entire process of proof to get real IDs so we can get on a plane. We carry Social Security cards. Hell, it may sound like a dumb analogy, but we have to prove to a bank before they'll lend us money we are who we say we are. We work where we say we work, and we have the money we say we have to be able to pay back the loan. All of these things are to protect something and to ensure things are done right. Does the qualification process suppress someone from getting money they need to buy a car or a house? No, you simply provide the proof and all is good. Do we scoff at the need to provide untold numbers of documents for this process? No, we simply provide the documents. All of a sudden, when it comes to our elections, we're just going to blindly accept all the excuses made for why people can't prove who they are? Like I said, this should matter to all of us, Democrats and Republicans alike. This should not be a partisan issue at all. Do we want to live in a country where one day we announce election results and find someone won 95% of the vote? Do we think this can't happen? Are we so sure we can trust all the power we claim all the time exists is always going to do the right thing with that power? We do see what's happened in other countries where the people really have no say in their leadership. We do understand that one of the core purposes of our Constitution was to ensure that the people have the ultimate say over what our government does and what it is allowed to do. In many ways, you can look at our elections as the thing that codifies and preserves the right of the people to decide, as the Constitution affords us that right. Ultimately, if someone can cheat, someone will be happy, right? But of course, who? Who wins? Which side? And what if it's the side you don't want? What if it's not a side at all? What if it's a collective that shows itself as a side, but behind closed doors is a singular one? Because many of us have said that too, that both sides are really not against each other. They're just actually working in cohorts with each other, pretending to be fighting different causes while quietly stealing away the voices of the people, one voice at a time. I think we've lost a lot of trust and faith in our elections. I don't think that's even an opinion. I think it's an observation. I think it's something a lot of us feel, again, on both sides. We keep thinking someone's stealing something. We keep thinking our voices don't matter, that our votes don't count, that predetermined fates are sealed before a single ballot is ever cast. That's not a reason to turn our backs now on a solution. For the left, even if the one offering the solution happens to be a guy you don't like, it's a call to action for us to take a step back and really ask the important questions and dig deep into the solution and understand the importance of coming together on it. Not doing our best to avert it, but to really know what it's about, why it matters, and why it should matter. Again, what's in the Save America Act and in President Trump's executive order are not outlandish, wild-eyed ideas. They're just common sense things. Every American gets one vote, and every vote cast is cast by an eligible, verified American. What am I missing here?